Hello and welcome to the Wewealth Women podcast. My name is Athena Gardner and I'm the founder of Wewealth Women. For those of you who may be listening to us for the first time, Wewealth Women is a women's wealth learning community where we provide the education, resources, and tools to help women become the wealthy women of their dreams and to help them own their own wealth narrative and create their own wealth legacies. Feel free to follow us at Wewealth Women on all of our social media, including our Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And on our podcast, I like to focus more so on wealth mindsets. We do obviously give you practical tips as well, but a lot of what wealth is or has come about is really a mindset thing. So we discuss more of those things on the podcast. Now, today's episode is going to be called The Hard Work is Believing in Yourself. And with that, it has been a thought that I've been thinking about for the past 3 weeks. So, to be honest with you, for the past 3 weeks, I've been infirmed. I've been sick. I've been to the point where I'm fatigued and I'm just locked to the bed. And I've been to the point where I kind of am at now where I'm functional, but I'm still kind of sick. So every time I get sick, it almost my mindset goes into like what is essential, what is important. It kind of recalibrates my mind because when you're sick, a lot of your ego has to be put to the side and you now have to focus on what is important because that, to be honest with you, that's all and what you have energy for is to, that's all you have energy for. So while I've been sick for like the past 3 weeks, thankfully the business has been able to keep going because I have a lot of things that was either already in the pipeline and automated, but I have been sick for the past 3 weeks. And what I've really been thinking about is obviously my goals, but also believing in myself and understanding how a lot of the challenges are mental and the experiences are meant to, you know, work through the mental. And I realized that the hard work is believing in yourself, especially when you're trying something new, you're trying to do what no one around you has done. And for a lot of us ladies, wealth building is going to be either something new, something that, no one around you really has made an effort. Even if you have tried to get other people on your same page, their beliefs about what they can do can even deter you, can even make you feel like, okay, what is the likelihood that you can accomplish that goal when everyone around you has either tried and failed or don't think that they can even make the attempt. So I find that as children, it's so funny. As children, you grow up and they tell you you can be anything, you can do anything, and they give you all this positive reinforcement. And then by the time you hit middle school, high school, they want you to be realistic as hell. And they kind of, start to chip away at your creativity. They start to chip away at your dreams. They start to chip away at now you need to be responsible. Now you need to, go about a certain path. And I find as the years go on in adulthood, that can kind of, you know, get worse. And now you don't really necessarily over time, especially if you haven't accomplished a lot of the things that you've wanted, or you haven't even attempted certain things to try and see your belief in yourself starts to greatly diminish. Your belief in yourself starts to go down. And I find that it becomes like this major effort now. Like when you were younger, you'd be like, okay, I can be Superman. Like, okay, I can fly. Okay, I can do, XYZ. And now as an adult, to even have the belief in yourself to start a business or to accomplish certain goals, it's hard for you to even get there. However, if you don't have the belief in your mind, then you're not going to want to try. And if you don't have the belief in your mind, then how are you going to accomplish something that you really don't think you believe? You know what I'm saying? That how are you going to accomplish something that you don't think you can accomplish? So that's why beliefs are so important. And I find that, I said to someone a while ago that this is the first year I felt like I fully believed in myself. And that came after a lot of trial and error and failure, actually. And I realized that a lot of my quote unquote failures are things that didn't work out because I didn't fully believe in them, or I didn't fully put in the effort, or I had this mental block around how things needed to be. And I kind of had to go through that process of failure to really grasp and realize, I can do certain things. And the reason why I experienced that is, once, I think personally, I felt like the universe was showing me that I could bounce back from anything. And that to have a mindset around, okay, this is just your first attempt at anything, at something. You know, it's your first attempt, it's your first learning experience. How are you going to learn if you don't try and experience? And that is why belief is so important, because I find that we are canceling ourselves out. We are not even putting ourselves in the possibility of trying to fail at something. We're just like, you know what? I don't want to experience failure. And then it made me explore failure as a concept. And I said, is it the reason why we don't want to fail is because we already feel like failures, and the actual act of failing reflects in us how we feel? Like, why can't we make a ton of mistakes, right? I have a mentor, and she gave the example of a baby learning to walk. And a baby gets up and falls down and crawl and gets up and multiple times, multiple times. But the baby consistently tries to make that effort until it finally succeeded. And then I said to myself, why aren't we like that? Why can't we accept failing over and over and over and over again until it works out? And I'm not just talking about business, I'm just talking about everything in life. Because what I've also realized, ladies, is that you don't really know something until you try. And that experience, whether it works out or not, is going to teach you something about yourself, about that thing you're trying to do. But also, it just gives you so much more experience than reading sometimes can even do, or even just speculating. And sometimes it makes you better for the next attempt. And each attempt builds on the last one. So when it comes to belief and believing in ourselves, the hard work is believing in yourself because I think a part of that is as you get older, you have more experience. And as you get older, I think you've experienced failure more times, right, than when you were younger because you've been on earth a lot longer. So I feel like as you experience failure more and more and more, it kind of does something to you. Now you don't want to fail anymore. So instead of trying, you just give up, you know. But what inspires me and what I hope inspires you ladies is that when I read these stories of anyone who is successful, I always find that they failed multiple times. Corporations fail multiple times. They just don't advertise it, or they just scratch the project and they go on something else, right? I remember reading the guy who founded Instacart. Instacart was his 20th company that he tried to start, was his 20th attempt. So if we adopt that kind of thinking, then maybe we can believe in ourselves more. I remember just even looking at Issa Rae, right? Issa Rae was a college graduate and she made Awkward Black Girl using her money and her friends to shoot these pilot videos that were on YouTube. From that, she was able to create Insecure, get the funding for that. She was able to create other things. She was able to break into acting. She was able to break into writing. And now I think she's looking at creating her own studio. But, and not to say she knew all of these things were going to happen, right? But she had to believe, she believed in herself. She believed in her gift so much that she used her own funding, creativity, and resources to put herself on, to create her own videos, to create her own series. And from that, she was able to create all the successful things. But at first, she had to believe in herself. And her belief in herself was so strong that she's like, all right, I'm going to write this. I'm going to shoot this with my friends. I'm going to use my own money. I remember at one point, she had to crowd fund for Awkward Black Girl. She had to believe in her gifts and her purpose and her mission enough to do that, right? Look at Quinta Brunson, right? And I think did she win the Emmy or the Oscar? I think she won the Emmy. She was on social media making videos and now she is a star of a hit TV show and winning Emmys. But she had to believe in herself and her gifts to put herself out there. And I'm sure there were a lot of failures or thoughts or no's, right? But she kept going. She kept going. So, what I want all of us to do, and I encourage you to do, is believe in yourself. And that is a hard work because a lot of us have to pull ourselves up out of either the physical or mental environment of negativity and mediocrity from either, where we grew up to try to put ourselves ahead in positivity and wealth and abundance and joy to believe in ourselves enough to be able to create these businesses and to have the wealth that we desire. But oftentimes I think the most difficult part, the hard work, truly is in believing in yourself and getting over that initial hump of hesitation or maybe negative thoughts or self deprecation. But I said to myself, and maybe this is something for you to think about and you could incorporate in your life. I said to myself that let me remove success as an outcome, even though that's what I'm striving for. Let me remove that and let me be committed to the process. Let me be committed to the purpose. Let me put my 100% belief in this. Let me be passionate. And I don't know where this journey may end. I'm hoping it ends with me in a mansion sipping a drink somewhere. Girl. But what I'm saying is, I have to believe that it is possible for me to do this and to have those things in order for me to do what I'm doing now, making the attempt. And I want you ladies to have the confidence to believe in yourself because it's a lot of smoke and mirrors out here. And the people who are have the appearance of doing great are not that better than you. They're not better than you, to be honest with you. And but you need to have a commitment and believe in yourself in order to do that. So in closing, as we end this podcast episode, know that the hard work is believing in yourself and know that you are worthy of your own belief in yourself. And to accomplish that, um, that is a starting place. That is a starting place. A book that I have read that I love that talks about this. Let me see if I can pull it from my bookshelf. The Magic of Thinking Big. Okay? This is that book. And it talks about believing in yourself. And we're actually going to be reviewing this in our book club. We're going to be reviewing this in our book club. But I do think that that is powerful and that is magical. And, having the belief in yourself gives you the power to do. Hold on, let me see if I can find a quote. The first chapter of this book is Believe You Can Succeed and You Will. Love that. Love that. Success is determined not so much by the size of one's brain as it is by the size of one thinking. Okay? I love this. I love this book. I love this book. The Magic of Thinking Big. Right? So I love this book. It talks about belief, thinking positively, right? Believing that you can succeed. Another part of this book is there is nothing magical or mystical about the power of belief. Belief works this way. Belief, the I'm positive, I can attitude, generates the power, skill, and energy needed to do. When you believe I can do it, the how to do it develops. The how to do it always comes to the person who believes he can do it. Belief triggers the power to do. And belief in success is the one basic, absolutely essential ingredient of successful people. So believe, really believe, and you can succeed and you will. I'm just reading stuff from this book. The okay, I'll give it a try, but I don't think it will work attitude produces failure. Disbelief is negative power. When the mind disbelieves or doubts, the mind attracts reasons to support the disbelief. Doubt, disbelief, the subconscious will to fail, not really wanting to succeed is responsible for most failures. Okay. We're actually reviewing this book in on our book club in our learning community. If you're interested in joining us, please go to join.wewealthwomen.com. That is where you can sign up for our learning community. And we have an app associated with that you can get on the Google app and App Store and Google Apple App Store and Google Play Store. You can download the app at wewealthwomen.com/app, and that page will take you to where you can download it. But so we'll be discussing this book in length. But I want, in closing, ladies, the hard work is believing in yourself. Because once you believe in yourself, you unlock creativity, the power, the energy to do what you need to do out here. And believe you can be successful and wealthy. And you will.